pleasure to welcome to the podium the 33rd head football coach at the University of Arkansas, Coach Chad Morris.
Thank you. Wow. Go Hogs, right? Yeah, there we go. What a great day. What an incredible day. And there's so many people to be thankful for and just a credible opportunity. I just want to kind of piggyback off of what's been said earlier. Special thank you to all the people that were involved. Chancellor Dr. Steinmetz for taking time out to come to Dallas and visit. Obviously, the relentless effort of Julie. Thank you so much. Had to try to tell her last night about 10 o'clock up here at the football office to please try to go home and get some rest. We got this, and she's done an incredible job, and is such a pleasure to be around. Senior Associate Athletic Director John Fagg as well. Just want to thank you all. It's a great opportunity and to put the time and the investment in to come and search for a head coach has been incredible. I also want to thank Jimmy Sexton, a very dear friend of mine, and couldn't be here today without his support. Our new athletic director, Hunter Yurchek. And Hunter, I appreciate you and what you've done. Obviously getting to know you over the time that we have and competing in the same conference. Thank you for the opportunity to be the next head football coach at the University of Arkansas. Now, I promise you, the more you get to know me, I won't let you down. Our staff won't let you down. We want to win. Make no mistake about it. We're here to win. We want to win. We want to win championships. And that's what we're going to do. And that's the process that we're involved in right now today. I also want to thank so many other people that have made this day possible for me. I want to thank my former players and our staff all across the state of Texas and all my high school stops across the state of Texas. Wouldn't be here today without the support of those guys and all the many players that are now Arkansas Razorback fans. Now, I've gotten about 890 texts as of this morning, and a lot of those are from former players and staff members. I also want to thank my former players and staff that I was associated with at the University of Tulsa and obviously at Clemson. Those guys are so near and dear to me. Coach Sweeney, Coach McCorvey, those guys have been very instrumental in my success all along this journey. I want to thank those guys and the many players that I recruited along the way. A special thank and a belief in a Deshaun Watson, that a young man that I looked at as a freshman in high school and got on him recruiting and built a strong relationship. He's like a second son to us. And want to thank all our players. And to all my former players and staff at SMU and our administration at SMU. It was a very emotional day yesterday. The more you get to know me, you'll understand this. To walk into a group of young men, 118 young men that have sold out for you, believed in you, and entrusted their livelihood with you, to walk in and to share with them that you're leaving. It was very emotional. A lot of tears were shed. I stood in front of them like I'm standing in front of you and told them how much I loved them, how much I thanked them. And I hugged every one of them, and we all cried together. But and the many texts that they've sent me mean so much, because we do. It's far more than about the game of football. Football is just what we do. It's not who we are. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a son. And I'm extremely proud of an opportunity to touch one life that may touch another life along this journey. To my daughter, Mackenzie, that's a junior at Texas A&M. To my son, Chandler, which is a sophomore at Highland Park. They're still in the high school playoffs. They got a big game Friday night. To my beautiful wife, Paula, thank you all for being my rock, my inspiration, my team. You give me so much. You allow me to do so much of what I'm so passionate about. And I want to say thank you all. I love you all. I love you dearly. This is what I was meant to do. This is what God has blessed me to do, and it's to coach football and impact lives. You'll find that it's far more than just about the coaches. The staff that we'll bring in here will have impeccable wives that are the home run hitters, that truly are so much a part of what we are and who we are and what we're trying to build. The coaches' kids that have to sacrifice so much for their dads to be away will be around. You'll see them around a lot. So now we get to do something special in the greatest conference in the country and build one of the greatest programs in the country. And we get to lock arms and we get to do it together. We will become the model program for all others to follow. I want to thank the Texas high school coaches. I want to thank the Arkansas high school coaches. I know we've got some Arkansas high school coaches here today. I know that their season is winding up. Some just finished, won a state championship, and I've already been in contact with a lot of these guys already. A lot of relationships that I've built along the way. I'm a high school football coach, and I'm extremely, extremely proud to say that. And if you've never been a part of a fraternity of high school coaches, you won't understand what I'm about to say. But when you're a high school coach and you're able to walk in and you know what you have to do, you have to wash the clothes, you got to line the field, you got to meet with boosters, you got to meet with the English teachers, you got to be in the lunchroom on lunch duty. You get it. And when I'm able to walk into a high school room and high school coach's office and sit down and relate immediately to what their day-to-day life is. To our high school coaches in our state, we're here for you. This is your university. We're here for you. We want to make your life better. We want to make your job better. So we're here for you. We need you. I need you. And we're going to lock arms together with you to make sure that we all benefit and we see this program rise to the top as such a historic program it's been and get back to where it was in 1964. So you're always welcome here. To the Razorbacks past, present, and future. A program that has 42 bowl games, 13 conference championships, a 1964 national championship, and more to come. The Razorbacks from the past, I got a plan. I need you. I need you to be a part of this. This is your home. We're going to make a special effort daily to welcome you back. We want you here. We need you here. You're welcome back with open arms all day, any day. The Razorbacks present. I had an opportunity to meet with our team yesterday around 4:30, and it was such a pleasure to walk into a room and to see a group of young men that were hungry, a group of young men that were wide-eyed and doesn't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I told them to hold on because it's going to move fast, real fast. And you better be ready when you come back in January. But I also saw a group of young men that, and I want to give a credit to Coach Bielema. I'm sorry, Coach Bielema. I want to give credit to Coach Bielema on the impact that he has had in those young men's lives. I know that they were kind of drifting out there for a while, and just but you could see the impact that he's had in their lives, and as far as touching their lives and the whole previous staff. It'll go a long way as we develop the relationship as we move forward and developing the new staff coming in place. So the Razorbacks of the future, again, recruiting and retaining is our top priority. We're coming. We're coming fast. We're coming at you. The jet's fueled up, and we're ready to go. We're excited about it. We came here to win championships. We look forward to the guys that want to be the best, because that's what we're about. Because best is a standard at the University of Arkansas in every aspect of our program as we grow forward. Our first order of business in the short term is putting together a championship caliber staff. You'll see that coming into play over the next several weeks, and signing a premier class, which on the signing day on the 20th will be so critical of getting the guys in place. So that's why it's important to take over right now. Our staff, our recruiting class, will go to work on establishing the culture that will be set that will take us to the next step, to the next level. Our mission for this program is to prepare young men and young women for success, because we'll have young women that'll work in our football offices, and they're just as much a part of this as to prepare them for success both on and off the field for the rest of their life. The culture of Arkansas football will be about winning championships. To win championships, you have to develop champions, and not just on the football field, but in the everyday life. Champions as people, champions as students, and champions as players. All three go hand in hand, and being a champion is not an event, it's a lifestyle. We don't want to win once in a while, we want to win every day. Offensively, you won't find a more explosive offense in all of college football. When we got to SMU, we were 128th in total offense, and we finished 8th in the country this past year. That same offense created excitement, created a top 10 finish, national championship appearances, and a national championship team at Clemson last year. So you'll see an exciting brand of football that'll be spread sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone. There won't be many time to sit in your seats. We'll go fast, we'll play fast, and we'll have fun doing it. Defensively, we'll be built around stopping the run. In this conference, you have to stop the run. I firmly believe that. I'll hire the best defensive coordinator in all of college football. That's our standard. We'll be physical. And the one thing, when the horn ends on Saturday afternoon and the game's over with, I want our guys extremely upset because they have to wait another 7 days before they get to get out there and hit somebody again. That's what we're going to build on the defensive side of the football. Special teams, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to be explosive, and we're going to look to take every advantage of winning a ball game and creating turnovers on our special teams units. So moving forward, for our program, our message for this team, and what's next. The time is now. The place is here, and I'm humbled to be and honored to be your head football coach. The process has already started. The process of being better today than we were yesterday, and being better tomorrow than we are today. So with that being said, it's an honor, it's a privilege to be the head football coach at the University of Arkansas. The one thing you'll never have to do is you'll never have to tell me go. You may have to tell me whoa, but you won't ever have to tell me go. We're going to put it in the left lane, we're going to put the hammer down, and we're going to have fun. And I want to thank you all for coming out today, and go Hogs.
Thank you very much, Coach. At this time, we'll do a Q&A with our members of our media. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Please give your name and affiliation, and we'll take questions. We'll start over here with Bob Holt. Bob?
Hey, Chad. Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat Gazette newspaper. You said you want to hire the best defensive coordinator in the country. I think a lot of people would say that's Brett Venables. I personally can't see why he'd leave Clemson to go anywhere. Are you talking about Brett, or who do you have in mind?
Well, yeah, if I'm sure Coach Sweeney wouldn't like that, and but without just disclosing any names right now, I've got a short list. And some that I've had to play against and be around and watch and admire from afar. And so we got a great plan for that. So yes, we hope to get on that today.
Okay, we'll stay over on the right side, Josh.
Hey, Coach. Josh Bertuccini, 92 The Ticket. You got such a great track record. You had a lot of opportunities, I'm sure, in front of you. Why Arkansas and why now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Two things on that. It's all about timing and it's all about fit. And timing, you couldn't have it at a better time than right now. And I know Hunter shared a little bit, and we talked during the interview process that 7 years ago, the similarities of what Clemson looked like and the vision that was being put in place, the staff that was being assembled. Clemson came off a 6-7 season, had just gotten beat by South Florida in a bowl game, and so coming in and seeing the similarities of 7 years ago and building that program, and to where the University of Arkansas is right now, the similarity is really scary, to be exact, as you look at it and how we can build this thing. The second thing is the ability to recruit. And growing up in the state of Texas and being a fan of college football, one of the things that you always admire, I grew up watching the old Southwest Conference days, and then all of a sudden everything transitions out. But being as close to the University of Arkansas, when Arkansas was winning big, they had a great mixture of players from the state of Arkansas, from the state of Texas, and then scattered through Louisiana, Oklahoma, and across the rest of the country. And so being able to recruit the state of Texas as well as putting a fence around the state of Arkansas is huge.
Okay, we'll stay right in front of you, Coach. Rick
Fires, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Hey, Chad, when Gus was making transition from Springdale High School to college level, he's met with skepticism from fans. I heard it from fans, some veteran coaches said, man, what you're doing at Springdale High School, that can't possibly work at college level. And I was wondering if you met any of that kind of skepticism. If so, how'd you deal with it?
I actually did, yes. And Gus and I had talked about that in depth. But one of the things I can say nowadays, when you go back into college football, let's say you go back 10 years ago, it's been a trickle-down effect. And a trickle-down effect, I mean, what's usually started in the NFL has came down to the college level, which trickles down to the high school level. But what you've seen over the last 7, 8, 9 years is it's been a trickle-up effect. There's been a lot of things because high school coaches are so innovative, and they have to structure their schemes around the players that they have, and so they have to be creative. They have to think outside the box. They have to do things that maybe that someone says you can't do, and so what you find is it's become a trickle-up effect. What started in high school goes to college, and now you're seeing some of the same things in the NFL, and I think it'll only continue to grow. I also believe that when you deal with high school coaches and the ability for these guys to come in and get with your college coaches, and we welcome all our high school coaches out. We pick up so much from those guys as well. So it's constantly a growing game. I mean, businesses aren't ran like they used to be ran 5 years ago or 2 years ago. It's the same way as college football. College football is constantly changing, and it changes every year.
Coach, we'll go right over here to right. Nate, second row.
Nate Allen, Sports Service. Are you ready to announce any coaches that you have hired, and do you intend to interview and possibly retain anybody from the holdover staff?
I'll be meeting with the staff here in the near future. I'm not ready yet to announce who's coming with me. There'll be a time and a place that we'll do that, but I've got a group that I've assembled, but we'll do that at another time.
Coach, we'll go over here in front of me and second row. Tom.
Hey, Chad, Tom Murphy with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette as well. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nate got my question right out from under me there, but I did see my friend Randy Ross over there with a Razorback lapel pin. So is there anybody you can confirm?
Well, you saw him with a Razorback pin on.
All right, we'll go in the same second row here on the aisle. Trey.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Trey Biddy with Hog Sports. I was just curious how familiar you are with your roster from a talent standpoint. Do you go back and watch old practice videos or game films, or does everybody just get a fresh start?
Well, from a football standpoint, I had a chance to watch a few games this year. Of course, before all this came into play, everything just kind of came into play about 6 o'clock yesterday morning. I mean, it was everybody kind of thought they knew what was going on and was ready to report something, but nothing really became finalized until about 6-something yesterday morning. Somewhere around that time. And so to have an opportunity to go and start looking at the film and studying them over the last couple weeks, I have not done that. Now, I have watched them several times this year, a couple of times in games. I met with the team yesterday, obviously. There'll be a time and place that we'll go back and watch. We will watch, really dive into the personnel. We like tight ends, and we're going to run with tight ends, but we also are going to spread the field out, and we'll run a lot of 12 personnel, 11 personnel, but we're going to do it at a breakneck speed, very fast.
All All right, Coach, we'll go right here in front. Bo?
Hi, Coach. Bo Mattingly, Sports Talk here in Arkansas. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Can you just go into a little bit more description of your offense? What will fans see? Maybe some more specifics with the kind of offense you run.
Yeah, well, obviously we're a two-back run-oriented play-action shot football team that does that in many different window dressings, so to speak. A lot of different formations, multiple movements. We'll do it very fast. So we'll be 5 wides at time. We'll go 5 wides back to 2-back. We'll reload back into 2-back. We can talk ball all day long, so I'll get ready. So we can do that. We'll go from 1-back to 2-back. A lot of changing of the structures and trying to find the right personnel that creates mismatches. That's what this whole thing is about. Is creating mismatches and getting our tight ends matched up with a backer, getting our tight ends matched up with a safety. Yep.
Okay, Coach, we'll go on the aisle here in the middle. Jason?
Yes, sir.
Chad, Jason Kersey with The Athletic. You described yourself as a high school coach. Why is that identity important to you, and how does that identity help you when it comes to recruiting?
Well, I think, first of all, and I shared just a little bit earlier about the high school coaches. Pardon me. High school coaches, they get it. You have to adjust and adapt, and you got to be able to do that quickly. They don't have the luxury of recruiting, or not supposed to. They have the luxury of recruiting, but. And so they have to adjust and adapt their style with what they have. To be able to walk in and to relate to them, to communicate and speak the same language and deal with some of the same issues that they dealt with is important. I mean, it was with me when I would, as a high school coach and a college coach would come in and he had a high school background, I could relate immediately. It's those guys that walk in your door that you can't relate to is where you kind of the relationship stops. I'm a relationship guy, and if I can get the trust of the high school coach on my side, then obviously he's got the trust of the parents or the auntie or the uncle, whoever's the decision maker of that athlete. I can get them on our side. So again, that's what this whole thing is about, is just being who you are. I got a degree in math and modern statistics, and I really believe that it allows you to think outside the box. So be able to walk in and to talk different things with a high school coach to help him out. And I share this, and we'll share this with all our high school coaches in our great state, is that when our college coaches, we'll have our entire staff divided up all over the state of Arkansas. So all 10 of our coaches will have a piece of Arkansas when they'll recruit to. And we'll see every high school in this great state. And I'll share with this and share with you, as I share with all these high school coaches, that when they walk into your room and they walk into your office, you make sure you get something from them. And I challenge them all. Ask them what their best 3rd and 6 play is. Ask them what their best pressure is against short yardage. Ask them what their best movement is. Get something out of these coaches that walk in there, because they're far more than just about walking in and putting a card down and saying, who do you got? Because you may not have anybody, and you may not have a player that comes out of your school and hadn't came out in 8-10 years. That doesn't matter, because you will one day. So,
okay, Coach, we'll go over here to our right on the aisle. Kurt.
Hey, Coach. Kurt Voigt, Associated Press. How do you feel like you have to adapt to the SEC, and what are some of the challenges you feel like that will present to you, and who will you rely on to help with the learning curve in that league?
Well, having been at Clemson and having played against several of those of the SEC opponents, Georgia, LSU's, we're very familiar with it and playing. Developing our scheme and hiring quality coaches without getting too far in depth of the staff in place. Hiring quality coaches that have experience in this league, have experience defending in this league, and offensively, we're going to put some of the best offensive coaches in all of college football out there. We get that, and defensively, it's my job to hire the best defensive staff. This got a great in with the SEC and in with the dynamics of the way the league is ran. You got to stop the run. You got to be multiple defensively, and likewise on offense. You have to run the football, and you can do it in many different ways. There's not just one way to do those things, and so. But at the end of the day, it comes down to recruiting and retaining. And part of the retaining part of the players that you have, once you get them here, is the development of the guys to be able to play in this league, and being able to put a plan in place to take care of their bodies through the course of the rigors of the mental and physical grind of playing in this league weekly, and making sure that they're prepared and ready to go for Saturdays.
Coach, we'll go to the back of the row in front of me. Go ahead.
Coach Morris, Eric Sullivan from 103.7 The Buzz. What's the left lane? Would you describe your little, how do you say that?
Yeah, we're going to put it in the left lane and pop the clutch and put the hammer down.
There's your hashtag, Chuck Barrett, right there.
There it is.
You go. Can you kind of go into more detail, if you don't mind, when you read people for a living? What did this current group of Razorbacks, when they saw you for the first time, kind of give us a little more on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of uncertainty. They had a lot of these players are very friends with the players on SMU's team, and they had reached out to a lot of the players, and I think I think through some of the texts and tweets that have gone out from the current players here at Arkansas, and just from some of the support that they've gotten from our previous group at SMU. So I think there was a lot of uncertainty. I think there was a lot of guys that were excited, very attentive, wanted it, hungry, hopeful, and again, appreciated the previous staff and what they've done, but also looking forward to building relationships and moving forward with the new staff. Again, for me to walk in there as I was and just be myself and share with them. I shared with them how hard yesterday was, and to stand in front of your players and tell them bye. Because it's built relationships, and so this is far more than just about the game of football. This is about developing these young men academically. They're going to graduate. 2, they're going to grow themselves socially. If they choose to grow themselves spiritually, they'll have that in place here as well. And the easiest part of our day will be to develop them on that football field.
Coach, we have 3 final questions. We'll start with Mitch Roberts over on the far aisle.
Hi, Coach. Mitch with 4029 Sports. When a program makes a transition from more of a running program to spreading it out like you plan to do, how long does that transition take, and have you thought about that as far as how long it might take here?
Oh, a little bit, and after this, we're going to go into more of a personnel meeting here in about an hour. We'll have a better understanding of how the roster is laid out. Obviously, I think there's a couple of things here that you look at from a lineman standpoint and D lineman. You've got to have that's the 2 priorities to compete in this league. Is you better have D lineman and you better have O lineman, and you better have some speed. You either have speed or you're chasing speed, and you don't want to be chasing speed. So our priority is to make sure that we're recruiting speed that can compete in this level and in this league.
Okay, we'll go down here to the right in the front.
With Hog Sports again. On the topic of recruiting, there are roughly 15 players on this roster from the state of Texas, scholarship players. When you were hired, was that part of your appeal, I guess, having connections to Texas? And I know you're probably worried about tomorrow, but when you envision this program 5 years from now, what kind of percentage of Texas players do you foresee on this roster?
Well, let's look at it like this. That's a great question. Let's look at it like this. And when you look at the Division I players that come out of the state of Arkansas, and whether that's 7 a year, 10 a year, whatever that may be, you look to be able to let's say you take 5 to 7 out of the state of Arkansas every year, and you're going to sign 20. There's no reason in the world you can't sign 10 kids out of the state of Texas, the most dynamic kids and high-profile kids out of that state every year. We've already started that process through the relationships that we've had. Started it yesterday before we got on the plane to get up here, and so there'll be a lot of excitement coming soon. But I think as you build this roster and you build over the course of time, you look at the prior history of this storied program, and when they were as successful as they've been, the roster had a great blend of Texas players mixed with Arkansas players, and then scattered through Louisiana and Oklahoma. So I can't give you an exact number, but I can tell you this: that's a huge footprint Well, our heel mark will be the state of Arkansas. The rest of our footprint will roll right into Texas and into the surrounding states of Louisiana and Oklahoma.
Okay, we'll take one final question. Bobby Swafford.
Hey, Coach, Bobby Swafford, 5 News Sports. 8 years ago, you walked into a high school as a head coach. 8 years later, you're now the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Did you ever see your career path take that veer, and did you expect it to happen that quickly once you did take the college level?
Well, you know, everything we do, it's always been this way. Everything you do, regardless if you're at Lake Travis High School or Stephenville High School or Eustis, Texas High School, wherever you're at, you give everything you got every day. You just be where your feet are. And I firmly believe that. That's the way we've built the program at SMU. When we took that job and everybody said, Coach, why? Why SMU? Why? And what are you doing? If I had that once, I had it 1,000 times. And I said, why not? You know, just be where your feet are. Be the best you can be every day. And to say that this was the path, the way it was all meant to be, I never looked at it that way. I looked at just being the best I could be every day. Our family to invest in the lives of the young men and young women that we're a part of every day. And if we can do that enough, great things happen. Good things happen to good people. And I firmly believe that. And that's what this has been about. It's really, truly, and it's not coach speak. It's truly be the best you can be today, right here, right now. Let's have the best press conference of anybody in the country right now. And that was my message to our team yesterday, is this is how we're going to win a championship. We're going to win a championship by being a champion today, right here, right now. We'll worry about tomorrow. But so 8 years ago is to be a high school football coach, and now 8 years later, here's what it is. I'm hope. That's what I am. I'm hope. I'm hope because there's a lot of high school coaches out there that are looking at me and looking at the college coaches throughout that have had high school experience and saying, you know what, if that guy can do it, I can do it. And so we give hope, we give dreams, and that's what's so inspiring about this profession is not only you get to touch the lives of young men, but you also get to touch the lives of young high school coaches that have such a huge impact in our culture of young men and young women of today. And make no mistake of the power of that we have. And so if I can help touch one life that touches many others, that's I'm at peace with that. And same as with my wife Paula, and we're very instrumental in our community, and that carries forward with our players as well. So.
All right, thank you, Coach. And we'll hand it back over to the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett.
Thank you.
Hey, let's hear it again for Coach Chad Morris. Now, Coach, let me tell you, we love to call the Hogs in Arkansas, and we can't wrap up a proper Razorback celebration without calling the Hogs. We've got the Spirit Squads here. I'm going to ask your lovely wife, Paula, to join us. I'm going to ask your children, Mackenzie and Chandler, to join us on the stage. We're going to call the Hogs as we wrap up this press conference introducing our new head coach. All right, ladies. Good luck.
Let's call those Hogs!
We'll see you soon, and go Hogs!
Okay, a new era begins for Arkansas football here with Mike Irwin as the press conference has just wrapped up with Chad Morris, the new Arkansas Razorback football coach. What do you take from this, Mike, considering this is a guy who